Okay, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 1, 3. Oh, extreme close up. Tough morning already. Hey, good morning, guys. Let me remind you that trading's risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term. Never risk money you cannot afford to lose. I'm a little floppy today. Hello, my name is Wayne McDonell. I'm the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com. Thank you so much for being a client of TradersWay. Put your diamonds in the sky. Do these sessions 7:30 a.m. Monday through Friday with the hopes of helping you become a successful independently thinking, independently mining, independently planning, patient, disciplined currency trader. So please ask questions. Get involved. Sorry. Whew. So I hope you enjoyed Thanksgiving in Canada, or Columbus Day in the United States of America. I have a picture for you. I'll show you what I did yesterday. Apparently, a few of you didn't know it was a holiday, and TradersWay is like, oh no, everyone's freaking out. Everyone's freaking out. Here, where's my gallery? Gallery. There it is. Hang on. Wait for it. Can't open. Where's this? I guess you probably can't still even see it. It's hard to see even when you're there. Yeah, I'm at the Fed, the Board of Governors building, the Federal Reserve. Sorry. You notice the crowds? The only guy there was peeing in the bushes. I'm like, it's funny because there's crowds everywhere anyways. You know who this guy is? Cool picture, huh? It's Abe. This is what he's looking at. That's the view. That's where Washington was buried. And if you look even farther in the background, that's the Taj Mahal. Oh, wait, no, that's the Capitol building. Yeah. So anyways, hanging out. I had to give some advice, to Yellen. So thought you'd appreciate that. Hanging out at the Fed, Board of Governor building in Washington, D.C. So, hey, a little currency trading. Let's get going. I hope you attended non-farm payrolls, number 138. Somebody said, is that Photoshop? I'll show you a better one. I didn't even think of it. I got it somewhere. Yeah. It's a pretty busy day. Me and the Donald hanging out. Thumbs up. Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, we're hanging out. Yeah, non-farm payrolls, negative number. That's strange, huh? NFP was awesome. I don't remember it being awesome. I remember just being sort of, hey, did it move? What did it move? Maybe 40 pips? Chuck's wedding anniversary. Nice. I made it awesome. So anyways, yeah, there's some stuff going on, words of wisdom, and maybe good news hidden in the bad news. And of course, everything's discounted because of the hurricanes. That's fine. And maybe a whole bunch of people lost their jobs, and that, like if your Applebee's was destroyed, then they're like, just stay home. We don't need another waitress. But maybe next month, we'll see things like insurance claims. Guys have been hired, or contractors, construction contractors, and yeah, we did talk about that too, didn't we? Texas and Florida combined is something like 20% of the entire construction industry. So I don't know if we'll see that one day. I don't know the future. But that's that. So anyways, let's start with this USD CAD. Going back to Friday, we said something like, I guess we have to start at oil. No, it was a gold move. It was a gold move, wasn't it? Let's go back there. Gold. 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 Oh, this is gold. Okay, gold. So we had a plan on Friday. Loki's Day. We had in here we said maybe this goes up. We'll have to back out and find out why, but we had this hypothesis that if it went up, it would do something like this, or it would do something, where's my mouse? Something like this. Is that right, or did I get that? Or did we say gold up or down? I think it's up, right? Does anybody remember? I'm too old. Yeah, up. So that means dollar down, right? So anyways, it could go up here, or it could go up here. If it goes up, maybe something else. Maybe something else had kind of influenced that. I can't even remember anymore. But look where we are now. If you are a bull on this, you could treat that as a higher high, right? Right? You could look at this area here as being was support, was resistance, maybe is influential in the future. Don't really know. It's a bit of a shot in the dark. There's no pivot anyways, as far as monthlies. Okay. You might want to put a cluster on that. Okay. So now we look at it and we say maybe that area I just highlighted brings us down, roll reversal, pivot cluster, long again. I don't know, it's just a plan. Question is, if it did fall down here into this pivot cluster, what would you do? Well, that's what a plan is, right? You start thinking about that now. So gold up, dollar down, eh? So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But you start creating plans. So let's see. So on Friday, clear. On Friday, we were here and we had bit falling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row. And we said, well, this could go up based on gold. Is that about right? So it was down for 6 days at least, and now it's been up for 2 days? Well, that's pretty lucky. That's lucky. How has your, how do you call it, predicting the future going? Is it any easier when you predict the future? I think for many people, I bet you it's just not. That you're still in your old trading ways. If someone had told you on Friday that the pound dollar was going to go up, what would you do? What did you do? Right? Because that's a weird thing, right? That's why I think it was about a week ago, a week and a half ago, I said you really need to sit down and talk with yourself and find out what you need to do emotionally or mentally to change your behavior, right? If someone had told you 6 months in advance the future, could you make money with that knowledge? And you'll say, oh yeah, I'd make a fortune. How do you predict the future? Well, that comes down to technical and fundamental analysis, right? And that would be a trade plan. So with at non-farm payrolls, we looked at a bunch of things, and gold stood out in particular, and we said, well, if gold goes up here because of technical analysis, then based on correlation, we can assume certain things like gold up, dollar down. So if dollar's down, then pound dollar would be up, especially if people thought that the Bank of England would be forced to raise interest rates to attack not necessarily inflation, but a weak pound. Just the same but different. Same but different. Okay. But Erica, that is our job. What I'm trying to tell you is just trading like MACD crossovers and moving average crossovers, that's not really what our job is. Our job is to predict the future using analysis, both technical and fundamental, and then set up trade plans around that analysis. If you're doing the other thing, if you're just trading crossovers and stuff, what you're more like a video gamer. Okay? You have to remind yourself that what you're doing is analysis. You're not looking for a trade. I need a trade. I need a trade. You're doing analysis. You're analyzing the market. Okay. Let's go a little further out. Let's try to get this in here. Okay. So these are swing trades from non-farm payrolls. Remember, I went over two trades, a scalp trade and a counter trend trade. And the counter trends were up here and down, or down here and up. And neither even really happened. Pretty amazing though, huh? I think we scalped short though. Does anybody remember? Did we sell this short? Yeah? All right, cool. Cool. Little BE action, sure. Sure. Sure, yeah. Yeah. Well, worse has happened to me than that. Oh yeah, look at the hourly. In your arms forsaken me. So whatever. But it would be the same sort of thing. We had multiple days, and in fact, this is multiple weeks. 3 weeks in a row of generally dollar strong. And on Friday, we say, oh, well, okay, that's great. So after 21 days of general dollar strength, our analysis of gold tells us that the euro dollar has a pretty reasonable chance of going up because we're expecting dollar weakness. Even though we had 21 days in a row of dollar strength, there's something out there that says the dollar could weaken and euro dollar could go up. We're not saying forever, but just based on our analysis of gold. Funny thing is, I don't even remember what it was. But what I suppose what's important is on Friday down here, we were talking about all of this happening. Okay. Swing traders will tell you that this is the buy zone. Moving averages are not really good. It's sort of counter trend. It's sort of, you know, it's blasé. So if you got it, fine. If you didn't, I get it. Okay, it's what you do next is important. So it's interesting. Hey, wake up! Wake up! So anyways, here's something interesting. Now this, I think, is just simply talking about the pure technicals, right? This having it go up, but then I think we were still talking about this coming around. I think that's what this is all about. Okay. Swing traders, that's your sell zone if you're a bear. Beautiful cluster in there. If you're a bull, trading USD CAD, be sure to trade support and resistance. Anyways, if you are a bull, that is support. And this goes back to previous some stuff. But you got to be careful because that's that's dangerous. Okay, it's not as dangerous as down here, then, of course, right? So you got some work if you're a bull. If you're a bear, you're probably still thinking it was mediocre. But if you right, if you find that it's mediocre, you're not required to trade. Or if you find that the setup's mediocre, you could go in with a smaller lot size. it's important that you acknowledge what you see. You're like, well, yeah, sure, I could have sold there, but okay, fine, that's great. You didn't like it because it was still higher than that. Good, right? But if you're a bear, that's a predictive thing, right? That if you're a bear, then you're taking it M3 to M1. But you can say, well, but I didn't feel comfortable with that. Well, good, that's probably wise, right? Doesn't make the pattern any different. But if you say, well, under these sets of circumstances, I feel that there's a little more risk than I feel comfortable with, then that's what your job is, right? Again, it's not a video game. So if you want a lower low, lower high, lower low, fine. Okay. Or if you're a bull, you could see, well, I'm a bull, but that's not the greatest setup in the entire world. Cool. Well, you do have a nice little oscillator, but you need some dollar strength or CAD weakness, right? So that's why you start doing things like intermarket analysis, in particular of commodities. Okay. So let's zip in to Friday. So Friday, I seem to have drawn an up, an up, and an up. Which either says a rally in commodity prices or weakness in dollar. Notice that this up is the same up as that up. So there's only two pieces of analysis. So I think what we're saying here is if it goes up, it should go to $55.55. What do you think? So it's up about $1.50 from that bottom. Huh. That's interesting, isn't it? Now, how would you know such a thing, especially if it's been falling? It fell several dollars, right? So how do you know? Wayne, how do you know? Well, you don't know. But that's what a plan is, right? If, okay, if this area holds a support, then you would predict something else, okay? Why would this area why would this area be a predictive support? Because remember, if you can't predict it in future, then you're reactionary, right? So what would even make me think $49.32 or whatever it is? Why would that be support? What went into that type of analysis? Look at all our trade plans. Oh, it's going to come down here, then it's going to go up there. Okay, but anyways, the pivot cluster. Okay, well, let's start with even simpler, more simple, simpler. We have something outlined here. You can see it, right? We do have, I can see the highlight on top of a highlight. So I think one of the things we may have looked at is, right, is what? A higher high. That predicts a higher low somewhere around, right? Hold support and resistance. That's what this is, isn't it? That we did probably a few weeks ago. You could also use Fibonacci, right? That would tell you that this could be a 3A2, 50%, 618. You see this is a lot of technical analysis. And then I would look at the pivots and stuff, right? Weekly pivot. But as you may recall, this green zone, which I've now made difficult to see, but bear with me. This is the predicted bottom for last week, right? So we hit the bottom. So you could say, well, this area, because it's price action and pivot roll reversal, it might go up. It's also the monthly M2, which really strengthens your conviction, doesn't it? It's not just the predicted bottom for last week. If you're a bull, it's the bottom for the month of October. If you're a bull. Big assumption there, though, isn't it? But that's what a model is. That's what a plan is. A set of assumptions, even if they're weak assumptions, right? They are assumptions. Because you do this all the time in economics. Assuming everyone's rational, right? And all things being equal. Well, you're like, what do you mean all things being equal? And who's rational? Right? It's like, whoa, this is supposed to predict the world? I hate that when they say that. Well, all things being equal, we're like, whoa, right there, like nothing in the world is like that. That's like saying, well, if there wasn't this and if there wasn't that, right? So, anyways, this is up to you to decide. Is there a reasonable enough information for you to have a bullish trade plan Monday morning on WTI? Okay. So then the next thing is we don't know if it's going to go up. And in fact, it's a little bit dangerous because it's like catching a falling knife. You better have a certain, skill set tactically. What would you look for on Monday or Tuesday? Well, the first thing you'd want to look for is that you're not the only one that sees this cluster of pivots, right? There's two pivots right here, which just happens to be the bottom here, right? So you want to say, well, I want to see proof that this pivot cluster has held, that it's not a mirage, that it's real, and that other people know it's real, and other people are trading it, right? That's what I call respect. And then what can you wait for to really validate that that support has held and been respected? What have I taught you to do? Higher high, trade a pullback. Okay. So you'd have to decide at some point, is that high higher than this high, and is that good enough for you? These are decisions. Sometimes you override them. What do the moving averages tell you? So on and so forth. You have to make decisions. Okay. And then once you got the higher high, after the double bottom at support, so obvious a blind man can see it, then you can wait for a pullback, right? How does the 618 seem to you? Is that a reasonable area? Look at that. We're stuck on the 200%. Isn't that funny? Look at that. Okay. It's the distance from here to here. Interesting. But that's the kind of stuff that you look for, right? That's the kind of stuff we talk about a lot. I hope you know that. That you have a trade plan, you identify support and resistance. Remember, the first thing that every trade plan has to start with is you declare the team you're on. Do you play for the bulls or do you play for the bears? If you're unsure, you've already lost money. So if you say, well, I know it's been falling, but I'm a bull. Okay, great. What do bulls do? Bulls buy at support. Great. Where's support? Well, this is the predicted bottom for the entire week, so bears might take profit. And if so, this could go up, and I see a pivot cluster, which is the bullish entry for the week, WM2, and the bullish entry for the month, monthly M2. Well, that's quite a coincidence. Okay. So now I want to look for double bottoms. And then when there's a double bottom, I want to see a higher high. And then when I see a higher high, I want to wait for a retracement, ideally somewhere between the 382 and 618 Fibonacci retracement. Is that how I've trained you over the last, I don't know how long you've been here, years? Okay. And then I also drew this line on Friday, and I believe I drew these two lines like Tuesday or Wednesday of last week. Is all that fairly accurate? Cool. So we predicted the future. How awesome is that? Now, we still don't know if this is going to make a higher than this high. So I wouldn't start, cracking open this champagne, especially since champagne prices are going to skyrocket in the next 3 years. Well, I'm predicting the future again. What? That finger's weird. There we go. Did you know that? Champagne prices are going to skyrocket over the next 3 years. Yeah, well, don't ask. Just don't shh. Don't speak, just listen. All right, so yeah, so we need to get above this, but by chance we've already highlighted it, so we must have talked about it last week. And we know this is a big sell zone. So there's, and we have a 200% extension. I have a feeling some of the bulls are going to take profit on us. I think some of the bears are going to want to sell again, don't you think? I mean, look at this. If you're a bear, why would you not sell that? You see what I mean? If you were a bear, you should sell that. I can't fathom why you wouldn't. Okay? So if you were long in here, maybe you take some profit or move your stop, but you should do something. But again, if you're a bear, that's the monthly central pivot, and you're trying to defend a higher high on the higher time frame, like a 4 hour. because the smaller stuff that we looked at earlier is nothing, right? So a bear is still going to try to, you know, drop it like it's hot. Oh, come on, you stupid son of a. All right, let's try this again. Let's go with something like that. Okay. So they're going to try to sell the top of this channel. They're going to sell the monthly central pivot. They're going to sell the weekly M3. They're going to sell some sort of Fibonacci retracement the other way. Let's try this first. Yeah, that doesn't add up to anything important. Let's try this. Yeah, see, perfect 618. So a bear is going to sell here. Do I know that for sure? No. But that's what I would predict if I were me. A bear would sell there. 618 Fibonacci retracement into downtrend, top of the channel, monthly central pivot, weekly M3. Done. So if you're a bull and you're in this, you either take profit or move your stop. But you need to do something to mitigate the risk. It's not like you're a bull in an uptrend, for crying out loud. You see that? So you got to know when to be confident and know when not to be confident. There's no bluffing in Forex. Right? You guys see that? Bear's going to dump it here. You should know that. You got to know where to hold them, know when to fold them. For sure. What was that rate, E? Now what? Just got to do some all scene. And for some reason, I have this area highlighted. Could it be this pivot I find important? Amazing coincidence, right? Did I say 87.39.5 is going to be important? 87.39.5 is going to be important. So we visited it on the 6th. It's the 10th today, and we're still here. That's an amazing random walk. Amazing. You have to understand, like when I first started trading, people would tell me that. They're like, that's just random. Wayne, you put enough lines on your chart and you'll always find a reason for it to look good to you. It's confirmation bias, Wayne. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. So that is a monthly buy. If you're a bull, that's your buy pivot. Doesn't mean we're long yet. I mean, look at these moving averages. This is bearish. This is very bearish. But a bull needs to be alert and awake. Okay. And what did you learn last month about hitting pivot profit zones? That seems to be important too, huh? Amazing how to the pip, this lower low, lower high, lower low. I mean, it's important, right? Groove is in the heart. Groove is in the heart. Groove is in the heart. Blah, blah. Yeah, seems pretty heavy, huh? Just going to mark that because that's just going to be ridiculous resistance up there. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Thought we had some, must be over here. No. I thought we had some pound Swissy analysis. Maybe there's some Euro Swissy. No. Oh, this looks like we did something here. So far, neither. All right. You can see I say, well, this level is important. If it falls, look to sell the rally. If it rises, it gives us a predicted top and a predicted pullback, which then predicts another top. But it looks like essentially nothing's happened. Especially if I draw this a little more accurately, you can see it's pretty gosh darn amazing. I'll open this up a little more. Zoom in maybe. It's pretty accurate. Cool. So we'll see what happens here. So your plan would be, if you were a bull, you would look for confirmation that the support is held, and then you'd look for a higher high, higher low scenario. And remember, right, this is a trend here, but this is a trend here. So you could draw, that like that, and then look for a breakout, pull back, and take it back the other way. And that would be your sort of macro setup, micro entry. So the pound, I think I said it, but maybe I didn't say it clearly enough. The news indicates that the UK is in reasonable trouble. And everything's generally bad. So that means the pound should be strong. It's weird, right? This is where newer traders have a problem. Because if the data is bad enough, inflationary enough, it's not that it's bad, it's that the pound is weak. So if everybody thinks the pound is weak, the pound is strong. And the reason that's happening, the reason that's happening is that the Bank of England, to combat inflation created by a weak pound, is to create a strong pound, which would be to raise interest rates. It's totally reverse psychology. this ain't good. It's totally reverse psychology. So you got to put these things together. You got to read between the lines sometimes. This one's hard. Come on, unlock. There we go. I haven't worn a watch for so long. I'm kind of missing one now. So planet, man, planet. So what is this telling you? Why are we looking at Swissy yen? If I did decide to buy a pound, because someone said the pound yen's taken off, if I did decide to buy the pound, I need to decide, am I going to buy pound dollar, pound yen, pound Swissy, silver pound, I mean, all these things, right? Right. So it's called relative strength. Dude, I keep getting paint on the crystal of this watch. So I walk into rooms and like, bang, bang it on the door jamb. I need a smaller watch, not a bigger watch. So, anyways. Look at that. For blind people. Ooh. Oh my goodness. So yeah, so relative strength. So if this heads up, pound yen. If this heads down, pound Swissy. Okay? I don't even really care which one's which, right? But it's kind of saying that the yen's been strong for a while, and if it's going to weaken, it should do it now. Because if it weakens further, technically, it sets up something quite different. Okay? So if pound yen is going to go up till the end of the year, it better start now. Okay. Suppose you could also look at USD Swissy. Wow, look at this. Look, I got a binary option chart on here. Wow. Apparently I don't go here that often. Let's go here. It's true, I don't trade USD Swiss franc much anymore. Look at that monthly R1. Oh, snap. Shut up. Look at that. Damn. Holy smokes, eh? Who the heck said US dollar was going to weaken on Monday? Crying out loud. Look at that. So I'll tell you, you can't sell it here now. And if you're a bull, you're sweating here. You'd rather buy it down here, though, wouldn't you? If you were a bull, you're like, yeah, this is okay. I'd like it down here. So you can't sell it here, and you shouldn't buy it here. Do you know some amateur's going to go ape crazy right here? A professional's like, I'm a bear and I don't want to sell it. And a bull says, I'm a bull, but I don't want to buy it. And an amateur says, I want to bet the farm. I think I'll be a millionaire today. Piggy, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your trades just hypnotize me. I just love your slaughtering ways. Okay, yeah, you can go higher time frame. I'm assuming you already have a bias, right? Right, John? So I say if you're a bull, and then I say if you're a bear, well, that assumes that you've already done like fundamental analysis and you've already done technical analysis, right? So 55 is not amazing to me. We got divergence. Okay. So I wouldn't have conviction. Like, again, this tells me if you're going to buy it down here. Do I really want to sell it into that zone? Nah, maybe, but I would not at that price. Like if I was so bearish, where was I at the London Open? Like, why now? Oh, I slept in. Well, then you don't deserve it, bro. Bruh. Right? So like even a little bit of analysis here, right? Let's do this. Guess that one's probably not even that good. But we'll leave that. I mean, I could do it this way, right? But so yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't think I'd want to buy it here. I don't think I'd want to sell it here. Um, let's see what a Pegler pitchfork would do. Guess I got to go off there, the recent highs. Okay. This tells me it's more bearish than bullish, which I agree with, and I want to buy it off the central. So it still says the same thing to me. It says if I was a bull, this is the place to buy. Okay. If I was a bear, all of this up here is way better than selling it at the central. So yeah, there's better things to do. That's all. But I can see this on the longer term. I mean, that's pretty cool, man. Right? Buy it down here and have it go up longer term. Yeah, all right. Okay. We're way off on the monthly, right? So what can we say even in October? So I think we started October bearish, right? As far as pivots are concerned. But that's the M3, isn't it? This one right here? No, that's price. M3. Yeah, we opened above M3 the first of the month, which tells us it goes high and then drops, if at all, right? So when you open above the M3 as a bull, what do you revert to for your entries since you can't use pivots anymore? You open out a position. This happens a fair amount of time in a trend, right? You're bull, but you open above your buy zone. Brooks got it. Yes, you use the dynamic level of support or resistance. In this case, you'd use the moving averages. So that's cool. And that would put us in here. But even then, yeah, it's pretty mediocre. We got a fair amount of pretty mediocre setups, right? Well, it's because it was late, like a day or two or a week late. Some of these things happened last week. And, NFP makes you cautious, and that's always going to be the case, or should always be the case. And sometimes it messes you up, and that's just part of the beeswax. Yeah, I believe Kiwi's at that pivot, right? So yeah, keep your eye on that. It's I'm going to look at it. You know what? Let's put some more water under this bridge, because I think at this point I'm just repeating myself the same thing on 5 different pairs. So we need a New York session, right? And with yesterday being a holiday, all the big traders were gone and all that kind of stuff. So why don't we regroup in 24 hours? 23 hours, I guess, technically. See you in 23 hours, and let's see how some of these things develop. Cool. So again, thank you for being a client to TradersWay. We appreciate you. This is my TradersWay Diamond. Thank you for being a client to TradersWay. We appreciate you and work hard for you and want you to succeed. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May our profits be above average. I'll see you tomorrow, huh? Thank you for being on my team. I appreciate you. I mean, I walked all the way over to the Fed building with my wife and children so I could take a picture in front of the Fed. I mean, I like it, but I also did it for you. Like, it's like what we do. It's what our people do. So I took you with me to Washington, D.C., at least for a brief amount of time. I didn't start the fire. It's always been burning since the world is turning. Something like that. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world was turning. All right, see you guys. Got to jump, babe. It was.